She was quoting a movie, and the line that she used was something that I don't even know that anybody would even quote.
Let me see. You gotta lay low. Do you know who that is?
No.
See? What did she just say?
I don't know. What was
got
that?
lay low?
You gotta lay low. Or you better lay low. I don't know who that is. I never heard that.
No.
Who is it?
Don't know who that is.
Is that Lilo and Stitch?
Welcome to Gen to Gen, the podcast where generations connect, clash, and converse. In a world where age often defies perspective, Gen to Gen breaks down the barriers, bringing together two vibrant voices from different times. Meet Teondra, a spirited Gen Zer with her finger on the pulse of what's trending, new, and next. And Phil, a thoughtful millennial who blends wisdom with wit, offering insights shaped by a different era. Together, they dive into a myriad of topics, from technology, culture, and lifestyle to the deeper nuances of relationships and societal changes. Expect lively debates, surprising agreements, and everything in between. They don't just share opinions, they explore the why behind them, bridging the gap between Gen Z and Millennials. So, whether you're a Gen Zer, a Millennial, or just curious about the views from both sides of the generational divide, Gen to Gen is your go-to podcast. Stay tuned, stay curious. This is Gen to Gen.
Welcome back, everybody, to Gen to Gen. This is the Gen to Gen podcast. I am a millennial. My name is Phil. I am one of the hosts here, and I am joined with the Gen Zer. I know that sounds bad.
Why you had to say it like that?
Say hi to Teondra, everybody.
Why you had to say it like that?
Because it sounds scary, actually. Sounds like a movie.
No.
Watch out, Gen Z is
Hi,
coming.
everybody. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. How's everything been?
Everything has been great. How was your Christmas?
Christmas was fun. You know what I did?
What?
Nothing. As a millennial person with child, family, and as the head of the household, sometimes the best gift is relaxation.
It does feel good being in your own home. It really does. But I spent time with my family. It was great.
I woke up at noon.
Really?
That's like anybody who's older than 30, if you could wake up at noon, that's like a life achievement. So props.
Hey, we do it now and still. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right, guys. So today's show is going to be fun. So we are not alone. We actually had to bring in some heavy hitters, and I want to introduce. These are Gen Xers. That does sound a little creepy too, but let's give some love and shout out to Denise and James from Skip Town All Stars.
What's up? Thank you for having us today.
Yes,
Welcome.
thank you.
Very excited.
Yes. Thank you guys for coming in. So today is going to be we're going to go blast from the past, right? We're going to get into the nostalgia time capsule and kind of discuss some trends and fads that were relevant in all of our own timelines here. And then at the end of the show, I want you guys to test Teondra and see if she knows who some of these celebrities.
I kind of suck. I might know the person and never heard the name before, but I'm just gonna try.
She didn't even know the bodyguard.
I don't know.
Oh, she's
wow.
a true Gen Zer.
Yeah.
She's
I was with Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's in another episode, but she was quoting a movie, and the line that she used was something that I don't even know that anybody would even quote.
Let me see. You gotta lay low. Do you know who that is?
No.
See? What did she just say?
I don't know. What
You
was
got
that?
lay low?
You
Gotta lay low. Or you better lay low. I don't know who that is. I never heard that.
No.
Who is it?
Don't know who that is.
Is that Lilo and Stitch? Is that Lilo and Stitch? What is
No, it's from Whitney Houston and The Preacher's Wife.
Oh, the preacher's
It
wife?
wasn't in The Preacher's Wife. She was like I said, she won a reward and she got on stage. And that she was giving a speech, and that's what she said to the audience.
What movie was it? Oh, that was
a movie.
Oh,
it wasn't a movie.
Was she on drugs then or no?
She probably was. For her
Okay.
to be doing all that, you never know.
Oh,
she
man.
probably was.
It was a real
But,
award show.
Yeah,
It was a real
It
award
was.
show. Oh,
It
okay,
was
no.
It was a real audience. She said that in front of the audience. It was funny. But
Okay.
that's how I remember Whitney Houston and her singing.
But not the bodyguard.
Not the bodyguard.
She didn't know. She didn't know
Not the
Kevin
bodyguard.
Costner is. None of that.
She's a true Gen
Yeah,
Zer.
but I brought you guys here because you guys are Gen Xers, but you're not a traditional Gen Xer. You guys are hip because you guys have Gen Z children.
We do.
We do.
So-
and we have a millennial.
And you have a millennial, so you guys are fully intertwined with both of our generations. So I want to see how we kind of blend and how we differentiate
Sure.
between some of the trends and fads that you guys experienced as a child. And Dean's back there too. So Dean's also a Gen Xer. So his perspective might be completely different from y'all's.
Depending on how he grew up as a Gen Xer, for sure. It could be completely different. Yeah.
Right.
She and I have different experiences because I grew up in the sticks. I grew up in a rural environment. She grew up in Chicago, so we still she saw 12. She saw her first concert was the Ramones
at 9.
At age 9. It's like I didn't get my first concert until I was old enough to drive.
She doesn't know who the Ramones is.
24 hours ago. I want to be sedated, right?
Yeah.
That's the scene. I know that song.
Yeah. She doesn't know who the Ramones are.
It's okay.
Sing a verse.
I don't know the second verse. I only know Gen X songs from Rock Band and Guitar Hero. That's literally it.
Yeah.
The fact that he could even pull "I Want to Be Sedated" is pretty impressive.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's literally from 2005 to 2009. I was a Guitar Hero. I thought I knew how to play, but I don't.
The game, right?
Yes, the
I
game.
love Guitar Hero. We played that.
See,
we
then you probably would know.
Oh, she might know a few songs.
We had that. That's why I say I probably don't know the name of them. If I hear it, I probably know it.
That gave me a newfound respect for Crazy Train because I played that on like extra hard.
Yeah.
And it was.
It's amazing to me when you go to sporting events how many old school rock songs they play in between plays or after good or bad things happen in the game or what have you. And I look around the stadium sometimes and I'm like, half these people here don't even know what the song is.
It's crazy because like all of like the popular Gen X songs are now used for car commercials.
They are. They're trying to get us all to buy Lincolns.
Yeah.
That's true.
So that's probably where you know these.
I just got a Lincoln.
See?
You got a Lincoln? You do? Who's flossing? Someone got a raise. I like it.
What color?
What is it? What's the?
It is executive black.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Yeah, I'm learning about cars. He's teaching me. Phil
Oh,
is-
he's the best person.
Yeah, he is. He is the great person about cars.
Not in Florida. Florida is the worst place for cars. Don't ever buy a used car in Florida. You'll learn the hard way. I'll get to that in another episode.
Half of them have been repoed from Michigan.
In rust. Yeah.
Rust.
Not repo.
So let's break it down for a little bit, guys. So you guys are Gen X. You guys want to tell how old you guys are, or you guys want to keep that a secret?
Oh. No, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay,
I'm 54.
I'm 53.
They look good. They look good.
Right? Don't they look good? I told you guys, y'all look like you could be in your late 30s.
Okay, stop it now.
But it's true.
You know what? Whack don't crack.
Whack don't crack.
Whack don't crack.
That's funny. Okay, so let's actually get started. We're talking about the trends. So when you I heard a thing one time is the best way you can remember your childhood is all the things that matter when you're in high school. So like from your sophomore year to your senior year, those are the things that stay with you. So iconic movies, music, celebrities, those are the things that will stay with you forever. So think back, guys, if you're watching this, think back when you're in high school, your favorite bands, your favorite movies, those are probably the ones that still stick with you.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Is that true?
That's probably true, yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
He's still listening to like whatever. What was like Motley Crue?
Oh yeah, definitely Motley Crue.
High school.
When I was that specific age, so when I was in middle school, it was the original Van Halen with David Lee Roth. When I was in high school, right around that time you're talking about, Sammy Hagar entered the picture. And so then it became Van Hagar. Not as great, but I do, like, if I hear one of those songs, it reminds me of like, riding around with my high school girlfriend in her little Chevy Chevette, And
Wow,
so,
a Chevette.
yeah, the Chevette.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know Motley Crue? Do you know?
Don't do me like this, Phil.
I think every time you guys mention somebody, we need to cut to her.
I know. It's just like,
And you cannot cheat and look on your phone, okay?
Right? She's like, let me just Google. Hold on.
see Google working over there.
So it is true. So when you think about, like, when you hear about concerts, like, how are the Rolling Stones doing another reunion tour when, Keith Richards is 1,000 years old?
They were 150 years old when we were in high school.
Right, but that goes back to everyone reliving their high school years, and if that was a popular band then, which it was for a lot of boomers, then, those stadiums are still selling out. And you also have to remember that the children of boomers were listening to that band in the car with their parents. So that is how you get a band like Rolling Stones that are still selling out arenas and they're 85 years old.
Even they clothes, like their t-shirts, Rolling Stone t-shirts, they're still selling as well because people in our generation know
at Brandy Melville,
right?
It's like a Pac Sun,
right. The Pac Sun, definitely the Pac Sun.
Yeah.
Were you guys into grunge music? Because in the early 90s, that's when like, you know, the Seattle scene kind of kicked off with Nirvana and Soundgarden and
I was like fully into it, 100%. I mean, I listened to bands that were just coming out of Seattle. I love music. I worked in the music business when I was in my mid-20s. So I was a music lover. So I was listening to Mother Love Bone when no one knew who they were. I know you don't know who they are, Teondra. Don't even look them up.
Gen Xers barely know who they are.
I don't think you look that up. You might see something on Pornhub or something like that.
Mother Love Bone. It's a new
Let me go
series.
looking.
Yeah.
I listened to anything that was on Sub Pop, which was a label out of Seattle that all the very early bands were on. Nirvana, Soundgarden, they were on Sub Pop. So I was huge into the Seattle sound, 100%.
What about you?
I was. So I was in a heavy metal band at the time.
What?
And heavy metal was dying. It was dying
What?
at death. Like
Is the heavy metal
Yes.
when they scream?
Yeah, they're screaming.
So
Yeah, that's it.
at the time, grunge came out.
Hold on.
Heavy metal was either you could go harder.
I gotta see this.
Or you could go like a lot of bands were like more girly, like you know, falsetto and all that, like Bon Jovi on steroids kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like Trickster. You've never heard of the band Trickster,
Cinderella.
but it was like those kind of bands.
Yes.
My heavy metal band decided we're going to go harder, like Anthrax, Metallica, all that other stuff.
Gotcha.
But
He had the bandana around his head and the one around his
Oh
leg.
my
Oh, yeah.
gosh.
And the one around his leg.
Do you
with the
have
moccasins,
any
with the
evidence of
moccasins.
this?
I do, yeah. Actually, I
You
have a
have
video
to send.
somewhere.
You
Right,
have
we
to.
have to
I
see
need to
those
post
I gotta
this.
pull it out. I gotta pull it out. So I have a CD that one of my old bandmates sent me like maybe 5-10 years ago.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Were you in your
actually.
garage?
But it's all like
with your friends?
no, we would play out. I opened up for. Have you ever heard of the band
good.
Quiet Riot?
Yes.
I opened up for them when they were on the way down.
What was the name of your band?
St. Vincent in that iteration, but then I had another band called Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. So what were you the vocalist? What were you?
I started out playing rhythm guitar. I wasn't very good, but my mom had always had me in choir as a kid. So yeah, I started singing when one of the lead singers quit in one of the bands.
No
so
way.
yeah, and so I went through. I miss like Mad Dog was the fun band, that was the party band, and
my
I'm still
gosh.
really good friends with all those guys. St. Vincent was more like I can't believe we're talking about all this right now.
I can't believe it either.
Anyway, St. Vincent was more like the heavy, and everybody was really serious. And we're going to get to Cleveland, and we're going to make a dent. You
The
know,
goal was from Youngstown to Cleveland.
from Youngstown, Ohio to Cleveland. Yeah, but we never made it. So
Speaking of the heavy
too many
bands,
attitudes.
wasn't some like heavy metal music? Wasn't some of those more like Christian based songs?
There were a couple. There were a few bands.
Striper.
Striper
Striper.
is the most recognizable one. I just think it wasn't part of the allure. Like if you grew up liking
Yeah.
AC/DC and Black Sabbath, you're not going to like Striper.
I think
Striper.
AC/DC. I heard of that. I heard of them.
You heard of them?
Oh,
Yeah.
you've heard of
Yeah.
AC/DC.
I heard
Okay.
of them. But I don't know. I usually be like, because my friend, he showed me some heavy metal music, and he was like, it's good music. Like, the lyrics were actually good. It was positive. And I was like, but why they have to scream like that?
I know,
Like-
right? Why so angry all the time? But no, but the grunt, to bring it full circle, the grunge movement killed that band and killed heavy metal in general because the minute
Nirvana.
Smells Like Teen Spirit came out, forget it. It
That
was like a
changed everything.
whole new thing. Like that song, and I'm sure you know that song.
Yeah.
So
You have to.
No, I don't think she does.
she knows it if she heard it.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
she
if I heard it,
you hear
I
the
gotta
first
hear
three
it. I gotta
chords,
hear
and she's
it.
like,
Yeah.
okay.
It
Yeah.
changed everything. I remember when that video was on MTV. I personally could not see it enough. I recorded it on my VHS machine.
You want to know how I found that actual song out? Was not from Nirvana. It was the Weird Al.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
parody.
Yeah, it was the oh my god, I forgot what it was called, but it was
the knockoff, the Weird
Yeah.
Al knockoff. So
Yeah.
you were late to the game then.
yeah. Because I mean, I was in the early '90s, I was a small child, so
That's true.
we didn't.
Oh, so
And I was sheltered, so from a Baptist family.
yeah, so
right.
Weird Al
So
would
we
be
couldn't.
the
Yeah,
song.
you're not listening to
No.
Nirvana.
No,
Do
you're
you know-
listening to the Chipmunks version.
Do you know what my family said AC/DC stood for? What KISS stood for?
What
You
does
guys,
AC/DC
you guys got to know those.
stand for?
Let us know.
So
I need to know this.
as a growing up in a Christian family, if anything wasn't godly, they had a demonic connotation with it.
Yeah.
So AC/DC to the Christians stood for Antichrist, Devil's Child. And KISS stood for Knights in Satan's Service. So that is what it meant to the Christians.
gosh.
I don't know if it's true or not, but that is what. So they're like, you were forbidden to listen to that
you know this?
devil music.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Tipper Gore, who was Al Gore's wife, remember President Al? He was a senator then from Tennessee, and his wife started this whole launched this whole campaign against backmasking. Like if you played the record backward, it had satanic tones in it.
Yes.
It was all BS. But
You were
anyway,
too young. You don't
Sure,
even
they
know.
weren't.
No.
so
My
she was one of the
generation-
reasons
sorry.
that became so popular. Like that sentiment that you're talking about became so popular.
But no, a lot of people used to go on YouTube and look up stuff like that, like Illuminati stuff, and
Really?
Yeah.
listen to it backwards and
Yeah.
try
You
to
know,
figure
it
out the
doesn't-
stories.
It doesn't make sense because anything can sound like something if it's played incorrectly. You can make
Or-
it sound like anything.
Right, or if you hear it, somebody say it, and you would think that they're
hidden
repeating
message.
that they're repeating the same thing. But if somebody say something different on the beat, you'll be like, oh, well, like for example, say if I say tongue, it's a beat coming, like I have like a constant beat, and I'd be like, oh, I make up lyrics and it say tongue.
Uh-huh.
And then like 5 minutes later, we hear the same beat, and I say, give me another word.
Foot.
Other than tongue. Foot. Right. You would think it's another word instead of the first word that you heard, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It was a psychology test with
Yeah.
that, with the brain and on what you hear with the music and stuff. So it can definitely sound like something totally different.
Yeah, of course. And they played on that in the 80s. They
Yeah.
just, everything was satanic worships
it
music.
became a whole
everything.
thing.
Right.
Yeah. Because
And it
you
was
know,
because they
everybody
wanted-
just thought you were devil worshippers. Sorry.
Completely. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you play because the rise of video games was also in the early 90s.
Oh,
for you
yeah.
guys. Were you a gamer?
So once I sort of aged out of the arcade scene, I wasn't really a gamer after that. Like I was in college full time, and it was just the PlayStations and all that stuff. They had those, but they weren't like to the nth degree that they are now, where there's hyper realistic and all that. So I was past that. At that point, I was,
You're
Are
already
you
an adult.
ever past video games though when you're a guy?
No.
You're not.
I
So
mean, my
how-
dad, even before my
No.
dad passed at 60, he was still playing Madden.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
that I could.
I don't
Sports
know.
games. I have played FIFA with the kids, and we had a Wii when they were small. So I've done all that
had a
stuff.
small
I just,
Wii, too.
I don't know. It's like,
You were paying your bills. You didn't have time for
yeah,
video games.
I had too many kids.
Do you think it's a
Ruined it.
time
No,
for
not-
men to put up video games? Do you think there's a certain age for men to stop playing video
Yeah.
games?
What?
18.
What?
18?
When they graduate high school, they should get a job. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I could
We
never
can't even
date-
play video games?
You could do it on your own time, but don't like have it take over your. You know what? You can do whatever you want. I'm just not going to date you.
She's standing on business.
So what is-
That's all she's
so what-
doing. She's standing on business.
A lot of Gen X women feel that way. Like if the guy's a gamer, they're not in. They're out.
Yeah.
Why though?
Because it takes over your entire day. I'm not going to spend a Saturday while you're playing games on your TV and I'm out like doing my own thing. Like I'm not going to do it.
Okay, I mean, I understand like in moderation, that's fine. But I
I've
mean,
never met a man who plays video games that does it in moderation. Tell me what your moderation is.
16 hours a day.
Oh,
Too many hours. You can put that time somewhere.
That's a
that's what I'm
commitment.
talking about. That is exactly why I never dated a guy who played games.
I mean, I guess that's really, you can say any generation would think that because their time is just.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta chime in here.
All right.
All right. I would think I'm a moderate game player.
Okay, Dean.
What's
How
moderate?
many hours?
12 hours?
2 hours a week, 3 hours a week.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay,
pretty moderate.
pretty
That's
moderate.
very moderate.
I wouldn't consider you a gamer then.
You're an anomaly.
But I'm that I'm that guy who plugged in the quarters back in the 80s. I
Yeah.
went through a lot of quarters. And then of course, what else did we have in the 80s? We had all the Mattel handheld games.
Oh, God, those are trash.
We did, yeah. The
But,
Coleco football.
they were
and all
so
that.
awesome. The football
Such
one, the
trash.
soccer, but it was something that, it was the early days. We had Pong.
Yeah.
We had Pong,
Yeah.
two paddles and a ball, and it was not complicated at all. And then, of course, everything evolved from what we were doing. We made this stuff reality,
When did GTA come out?
The original GTA?
Yeah.
98, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the overhead view. It was really trash. It was in London. It didn't get good until GTA 3, but anyway.
But your question is actually timeless. So it's something we can even ask Teondra. Like, would you date a guy who games? Because in your generation, they game too.
And
Yeah,
put
they
this
came
out
a lot.
career.
You have people.
Yes.
You have people going to the giving birth to their children. And they playing video games while the ladies in the.
That's true.
Like you really do have that, but this generation, as long as he's doing something with it, you know what I'm saying. Don't take up your time. Don't let it take up your time and take up your day because you can't be putting that time somewhere else.
Okay, so what's the minimum for you? Or maximum?
Dean, how much you
maximum.
said? 2 to 3 hours.
He said a week.
Oh, well, a week. But because I want my attention too. The game can't have all your attention. I need that attention as well.
Oh, you're the type of one when I'm playing a game, you come into the room.
Yep, I'm coming
like-
right in there. I might play
We're
with
on a
you. It
campaign
depends.
right now,
I might
honey.
play
Yeah.
with you as
I'm
well.
like, I cannot pause the game right
Get to you
now.
later.
I'm live. I'm killing this kid
See,
who just
look.
called me the N-word, so I have to
No.
kill.
See, I don't want a man like that when it comes down to games because now you're taking it
too
too
serious.
serious.
Yeah.
That's too serious.
It's
But,
different when you get owned by like a 7-year-old and you're like 30. So that's
yeah.
that's a type of hurt that no man really wants to feel.
So you
Yeah.
have to redeem.
You got to redeem yourself, and it may take
No.
7-8 hours, but you got to be a part of the mission here. You know, we're a team, so I may need you. I may need to tag you in. You may need to go ahead and lay the smackdown as well. That's how it's got to be.
Against a 7-year-old.
Yeah, because he's talking trash about you too. I got the headset on, so you can't hear it.
Nah, let me put the headset on. See, look, it get
See?
it get too much. It get too serious. Like we beating up a 7-year-old. Not when they say beating up, but bullying a 7-year-old.
It's the only form of child abuse I agree with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway,
Well, yeah, kids
so
talk shit.
in the millennials point of view, I think one of the things that we take credit for is boy bands.
Oh yeah.
think
So
you're right.
you know,
We have-
Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember 98 Degrees.
Yeah.
But,
Somebody
That's Nicholas
asked
Shea's
me,
band, right?
yeah.
Someone asked me recently, what was your boy band of your generation? And I said it was New Kids on the Block, and
It was.
they said yes. They said, but there was someone before because they knew, and I could not think of it. Menudo.
Menudo. Do you know Menudo?
Yeah, but
Menudo
really, that
on
was-
ABC.
Yes. No, Menudo
Ricky
was-
Martin was
Yeah.
in.
Yes.
Ricky Martin was in Menudo.
Yeah. So when they said Menudo, I was like, oh, they were right. That was probably the original boy band of Gen X.
Wow.
And they would just do all these vignettes in between on
Not a good
ABC
selection.
in between.
What?
Not a good
Saturday
selection.
cartoons.
I know.
No. Yeah.
You say Menudo, they're
The
like,
songs would be in Spanglish. and
Yeah.
Little white kids would be like singing them. It's funny.
yeah.
I was too old for New Kids on the Block. I was in my 20s
Okay.
when New Kids on the Block hit the scene. So that would be really your generation then, millennial, right?
Yeah, I'd say that. So New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. I mean, I was an NSYNC person. I mean, even though one of my favorite boy band song is a Backstreet Boy song,
Oh.
it's a sad one. It's a "Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely." That's my favorite boy band song. I use it as a ringtone. Sometimes I used to have ringtones, so we'll bring that in. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, boy bands, obviously video games,
Which one was Justin Timberlake in?
NSYNC.
Yeah.
NSYNC.
NSYNC.
Okay. I don't know that because I was too busy backmasking and worshiping the devil.
Worshiping
at
the
that
devil.
age.
Yeah, yeah, but no,
Screaming into a microphone.
Screaming.
yeah.
Yeah.
So NSYNC, and obviously, I think Blockbuster Movies was like,
Ooh.
Oh
Huge.
yeah,
That was
Yeah.
your
Love
generation.
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
yeah.
Right, was it your generation or was it Gen X that had blockbuster
It could be.
movies?
Well, I think it started with you guys.
It did, but it was like little mom and pop shops. It
Yeah.
wasn't like the Blockbuster chain
have to-
exploded in the 90s.
Well, he's just talking blockbuster, not the chain. He's
Yes.
talking
Oh.
about movies.
No,
the
the chain.
theme.
No, the
I thought
chain.
you meant,
No,
I think about
Blockbuster.
blockbuster movies, like going to a theater and it hitting like 20 million.
Oh, that I mean, hell, that too.
No, we had that. We had
Yeah.
Jaws. And we
I was
had
gonna
all
say,
those
I think
movies.
for us it was Jaws, but
Yeah.
Blockbuster, the video
video
chain.
store.
Oh,
They,
That-
Remember,
they
you
closed
had the
down
little
in
one in your
2014.
neighborhood that Stanley and Irma started.
yeah.
And then Blockbuster came in and killed all those little stores.
How old were you when Blockbuster hit the scene?
I don't know, I think it was like early 90s, maybe mid 90s. And by the time our kids were
have to think
born in
about
the
that.
early 2000s, it was like a twice a week thing going there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
How old were you, Phil, when Blockbuster hit the scene? Because I'm trying to think.
I mean, I remember
It came in
96.
1992.
I remember
That's when
96
Okay.
we
They
were
was
going
about
to.
1992.
yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I remember, man. We had to go get our VHS tapes, and we had to stand in line, had to pay for a membership, and
I love
make sure
tapes.
be kind, rewind.
Yes.
You know, do you even know what rewinding is? Have you even seen
Yeah.
the VHS tape?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not.
We actually on our
We had Blockbuster.
Yeah.
We did, because I remember being in the Blockbuster stores, and then they even had a side with the porn section. The porn was just all out.
no, Blockbuster didn't have porn.
It was a third party video
wasn't-
store.
Oh, it was the
Yeah,
third party.
yeah.
like Hollywood Video. Yeah.
Hollywood Video.
They had the porn.
It was
Blockbuster
one
did
of
not have
those.
porn. Yeah.
So when did the red box come about?
Oh, that was
That's a
like
y'all
well into
thing.
2000s.
That was
yeah, it
us.
was like 2010. I think
Yeah.
Redbox came
Maybe,
about.
yeah. You
But
think you're
James
All
and
in front
I,
of the Walmarts.
in our travels, we actually visited the last Blockbuster, which is in Oregon.
Yeah,
Really?
in Bend,
Oh,
Oregon.
really?
Bend, Oregon.
So
It is-
like, could you still rent
Oh
stuff?
yeah, you can.
What is-
And and they had all the paraphernalia. So I bought everyone like Blockbuster fanny packs and baseball caps.
Okay.
And it is
Blockbuster.
it is legitimately the last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. And if we have it on our social media, I have a video of walking in. It smells like Blockbuster. It is incredible. They
Plastic.
still
Smells like,
they
smells like decaying magnetized tape.
no,
Yeah.
it smells like the Blockbuster when you would walk in. It kind of has
Yeah,
that
it's-
plastic smell.
that's the
sort of.
smell, yeah.
No, it wasn't decaying though.
It
but
is now.
They have all the
It is
candy. They have all the candy. So-
Overpriced candy.
yeah, it's exactly like the Blockbuster of your childhood. And you can
Aw.
rent videos. Yeah. And I asked the guy at the front, I said, who has DVDs? And he said, believe it or not, quite a few people still have DVDs.
Do
And I-
you?
DVD players.
yeah.
Do you guys?
We do have one. Yeah, we actually
We don't
do.
have it hooked up though. It's in the garage somewhere,
Well,
right?
no, you don't need to qualify
You
that.
guys
We,
should go
we
make
own
it-
one.
Should go hook it up.
We should go hook it
Yeah,
up. We
see
should.
the quality and watch a movie
Yeah,
with
we
it.
okay. You know what? Maybe we'll
guys
do
should
I
that.
think-
Bust out a Blu-ray for the kids.
I think
have a Blu-ray.
DVDs. You know, we'll get into movies in just a second, but I think DVDs, the time frame that we had from VHS to DVDs, and then from DVDs to streaming. I think the DVDs to streaming was very, very short.
It was
The
comparatively.
Yeah.
technology picked up so quickly.
Yeah.
They became obsolete. But we had from VHS to DVDs was like 20 years,
Yeah.
even
yeah.
longer than that.
We had 20 years of VHSs, you think?
Something
Dean,
like
the VHS came out what, the late 70s, right, or the early 80s?
VHS
Wow.
would
Okay.
be
'Cause you'll have beta
70s,
tapes before
yes.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did, and VHS outmarketed Sony, I
Yeah.
think specifically.
1971.
Oh, no, Sony was Betamax, I think.
Wow.
VHS came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see, so
And
y'all had a
VHS,
huge, yeah.
it was just way more accessible and cheap. So
Yeah.
that product, even though it was inferior, just totally smoked Betamax. And all those guys who were early adopters of like the $400 Betamax machine were like, I can't get any movies.
Oh man, do you guys have any of those old Disney VHS tapes that are worth like $3,000-$4,000?
Yeah, they are
We
worth
did.
a lot of
If
money
we
now.
do,
Yeah, we did, and
yeah.
we gave them to Goodwill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are the ones where the woman is on Antiques Roadshow. She has a bottle
Yep.
and sells it for $100,000.
Yep.
Oh,
That
I just
would be
found
us.
this.
Yep, that would 100% be us. Yeah.
We were just talking about this last night. My youngest had a garage sale, and instead of, selling her things, she just went around the house and stole everybody else's stuff.
Oh.
And put that out she sold Braveheart. And
way.
it was on DVD, but I was like, who sells Braveheart? Like that's a movie you keep.
Yeah,
you
iconic
know?
movie.
Yeah.
We had all the princess movies, every single one of them.
We did. We had 100 Barbie movies, all those. Anyway,
I actually had
Barbie
the original Little Mermaid
oh yeah.
VHS tape where it had the penis as one of the
Oh shoot! Did
one of the
Disney-
towers.
Oh, you
Did-
have
did-
that?
Yeah, I don't have it anymore, but we did. I remember having that, and that sold for like a lot of money.
Yeah.
I wonder if we had that.
Yeah.
We may have had
I'm
that,
sure
but
we-
I didn't
I'm
know.
sure we got it the minute it
If
came
you
out,
guys are
so.
wondering what I mean by that is the Disney animators, they're all dirty people. So a lot of the
They are.
early '90s movies, they would hide things subliminally in the movies, in the artwork. They'd put a penis here or there, or the word sex, just
Not a
to
penis.
throw it in there. It's in there. Look it up. The
It
stuff
is.
the
It's,
stuff
there's
is
a,
real,
there's a penis
legit.
in the Minnie Mouse dress.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
there's
there's a penis in the Minnie
So
Mouse
the moral of
dress.
the story is don't go after heavy metal, go after Disney animators.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's get
Well,
in-
but
let's-
I'm sorry, you were saying in the tower there's a penis?
Yeah, in the Little Mermaid Tower.
She wants to go back
King's
to the
Tower.
penis tower.
One of the pillars.
Oh my
Can
God,
we talk more
let's
about
see
the penis tower, Phil?
One of the pillars has like a penis in it.
I'll have to
Yeah,
look that up.
gold penis.
I'm sure it'll be an easy Google. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
is
sure.
it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh,
you can find it. Okay, so since we're on the topic of movies here, what is one iconic movie that you guys can remember from your childhood or your teenagerhood? Now, remember I said high school is probably the ones that stick with you. So,
Yeah.
do you have one in mind that you guys want to talk about that made
ahead.
a difference to you,
Oh,
or
so-
you think made a difference to your generation? So, either or.
16 Candles.
16 Candles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
16
Everyone
Candles.
was in love with Jake.
Yeah.
Explain. She don't know what that is.
Hold on. I'm about to go. Do
No, explain. Wait, let them tell you what it is.
Okay,
and
go
see
ahead,
what,
go ahead.
Yeah.
So 16 Candles is the quintessential high school story about the girl who feels that she isn't pretty and isn't popular, and she gets the prom king at the end of the story. And
You just spoiled it for everybody here.
should I not have said that?
It's
Yes.
fine, no, you could say nobody's gonna
Come
watch
on.
it. Teondra is not gonna
really
go
gonna
watch
watch
that movie.
16 Candles
No, go
right
ahead,
now?
go ahead, go
It
ahead.
looks good.
And it's like
It looks good.
It looks great.
and all the stars or all the actors in that film went on to make more movies. It was kind of like they were a pack and they all continued on to make teenage stories about life, how life is
Yeah,
so
like
hard.
The Breakfast Club, all those types
St.
of
Elmo's
movies.
Fire.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What else? Like they weren't, those particular actors weren't in this movie, but like Ferris Bueller's Day Off is very similar. So it's all about teenage, high school and friends and not feeling accepted.
Yeah. So
And she gets the cute guy in the end, which is what
16
you wanted.
Candles.
You really wanted her to get the cute guy
I
in the
know
end, and
who
she
was
did.
Bryce. Do you remember Bryce in the movie?
I think it's the redhead, right?
It's John Cusack.
Oh, John
okay.
Cusack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Molly
know him.
Ringwald.
Molly Ringwald was
Molly-
a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, who else was in that movie? There was the guy.
yeah, those are all the same crew.
The Asian
right?
guy that played Long Duck Dong, I forget his the actual actor's name.
That's my porn name.
That's the porno.
Not the poor name.
No, but so what about you?
Does it look like a duck?
It looks like a tower in a Disney movie.
Okay.
No, I have to say Star Wars. Like it is even though I was still only 6 or 7 at the time, but they were still coming out with like
Empire Strikes Back is
and
where
Return of
it's,
the Jedi all through my all the way up till about the time I went off to college. So those 3 movies right there are just like if you had to for a young guy, a young male Gen Xer, that I would think most of them would say that. Or I mentioned it earlier, Jaws. Jaws was a huge one.
Dean, what about
Jaws
you? You're Gen
was-
X as well. You resonate with those films too?
I remember the theater when Jaws came out. I remember who I was with, and I was like 10 years old. So, and I lived in Massachusetts, which was where Jaws took
Is that where
place.
Amityville is supposed to be? That's where Amityville
think
is?
so.
Amityville's in New York.
Amity is the mythical town in
Or was it Maine?
not Cape Cod, but Martha's Vineyard. Amity
Oh,
kind of
'cause
took the
there's
place
an
of
actual-
right.
Martha's Vineyard.
Yes.
But Amityville is from the horror movie Amityville Horror.
Yeah. But Amityville
Isn't that the name of the harbor? In the,
is, I don't remember. Is Amity the
The
name
beach?
of the harbor?
Amityville is that's
Amity
a whole
is
different movie.
No, Amity is the
that's the
town in
Amityville horror.
Jaws.
Okay, Amity's a town.
Amity
I
is
said
the
Ville.
town in
Yeah,
Jaws.
that's
Sorry,
right.
got it mixed
It's
up.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm going
So how
back
do you
to
feel
horror.
about shark movies, James?
What's that?
How do you feel about shark movies?
I feel really great about them, actually. I like them a lot. I have not watched, I watched like a portion of the Meg. I have not seen Meg 2.
Oh, I've seen it on Netflix.
I've seen Meg too.
Have
I
you?
haven't seen it. It's like and I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the trailer.
But I remember Jaws 3D going there. There was a big deal. Remember 3D
Glasses
glasses?
never
Woo.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the first big 3D movies that we could
Didn't
see as
work.
Gen Xers. Yeah, it sucked.
Had a headache. Had a
Teondra,
total headache.
Yeah.
What about you? What movie kind of resonate with your gen?
Friday. All the Fridays.
That's my
That's it, yeah.
That's a gen-
I
that's
know,
a
but
millennial.
it resonate with us too. That's like the culture movie. Friday, next Friday, Friday after next.
That came
Friday.
out before you were
All
born.
3 of them. But for my generation, I can say it. That is ours, though. I'm not even gonna lie.
Can't take that.
I was just the Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
of course.
I
Yeah.
watched
makes
all
sense.
the series.
We just had to do it. We had to do a marathon just 4 days ago. 1, 2, and 3, and then 3 has 2, so it's 5 altogether.
Our Gen Zers had them rolling
Four.
right
I
into
love
the
them.
other.
Yeah.
I loved all the Hunger Games. I literally sat down and binge watched all of this series. So
Did you ever read the books?
no, I did not read the books, but they said the books are different from the movie, right?
I read the books. I thought they were good. I thought they were similar. I liked them. Yeah. I mean, obviously, in so many cases, the books are better. And I felt that the books were a little better, but I thought the movies translated really well. I don't know. What about you, Phil? What's your movie of your millennial?
So I never saw any of the Hunger Games movies. Was
You-
never,
you
Still
have-
have not?
no, because I would just ask you
have
guys
to.
about it. I didn't even know what
You
I was
have
like.
to.
Okay, I'll watch it.
You
But
have to watch
mine's a little different. I'm not saying it's a good movie. I'm just saying it was iconic for my generation, and mine is Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why this movie created memes.
Oh, it did. You're
Yes.
right.
This-
All those T-shirts.
So millennials are responsible for memes, for one.
They are. Absolutely.
So this movie was the first movie that people were quoting for years. That and Chappelle's Show. People still quote that.
Oh, yeah.
If
Chappelle's
someone's
Show.
quoting a Napoleon Dynamite movie or Chappelle's Show,
Right.
You know, I'm Rick James, bitch. That that's you know that they're a millennial because
Yep.
yeah.
the movie Napoleon Dynamite wasn't even a good movie.
It's true.
It's just that it had so many like iconic one-liners, and you can tell people were exiting high school, going into college for
Yeah.
the first time, and they would quote, "I want your tots," you know, some stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then that was literally
Bet you I
was
could throw the football over that mountain.
exactly.
I couldn't understand the success of Napoleon Dynamite. So you just explained it. It's the one-liners. I was too old, I think, for that film anyway. How old were you when that
So
film?
it came out, I think, in 2004. So I
Okay.
was
Yeah, it was an MTV
17.
movie, right?
Yeah. Okay.
was
I had
17.
I was well into my 30s.
It did come out in
So
2004.
yeah. So I was 34 at the time. So I just could not. I saw it and I sat there like a true Gen Xer, just stone faced.
I liked it because I have an adolescent sense of humor. So
Me too, but it wasn't even that good of a movie.
no, it's a string of odd scenes.
Yeah.
It gives me
Back to back to
American
back.
Pie vibes and Pineapple Express. That's what it gives.
I would say Pineapple Express could definitely be considered.
Those feel like more cohesive movies
Yeah.
though than
I think
like
American Pie was
like-
probably better.
Napoleon
Yeah.
Dynamite was just
American Pie.
It was just
That's a y'all's movie though.
Yeah, it is.
American Pie is a Gen Xer
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
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 I don't know. I didn't get Napoleon Dynamite, but now I get it. You explained in the one-liners. That's what made it.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now.
that movie. I'm saying that movie single-handedly created memes
Yeah.
because the internet was starting to pick up.
You're right.
Y'all go
You know,
watch it. If
Facebook
y'all
makes
haven't
Makes
watched
sense. I
it,
never
go
thought
watch
about
it.
that.
No, you don't have to watch. It's not a good movie. But just, but like,
Oh, you don't know.
All
You
I
never
think
know.
about are all the T-shirts now. Like when
yeah,
you
vote
say
for
it.
Pedro.
Yeah, vote
See?
for yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Napoleon Dynamite is one of the ones that is super iconic, and I don't know if I could pick another one that was maybe like could be significant. Ooh, jeez.
I'll say Twilight for us.
Oh yeah.
Twilight.
Yeah.
Twilight
100%.
definitely was a big one.
I can
Vampire, wolf, like
yeah.
Were you Team Jacob or Team Edward?
Edward. I was Team
Oh,
Edward.
me too.
He's a
Me
vampire?
too. I love.
Is he the vampire?
Oh, he's
He's
a
a
vampire.
vampire.
Sparkly,
vampire,
sparkly
yeah.
vampire.
So I can relate to what you're saying. I can confirm what you're saying because Denise took me to opening weekend of the first movie, and it was Denise, me, and 100 girls just like you sitting there at this movie.
But we're in
I was like,
LA.
"What are we watching? What the heck is
But
going
we're
on?"
in LA, and people in LA are very interactive.
Yeah.
And I took him to one of the bigger theaters, so girls like were standing up, clapping when Edward was on the screen, and they were screaming. And he looked at me. He's like, "Where am I?"
Yeah.
He said, "Where
like-
have you done to me?"
Yeah. I should be at a sports bar right now.
Okay, so
Like, I look like a creep here.
you guys say clapping. I remember watching Smokey and the Bandit.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, that was a good
And-
one.
And the
That's-
climactic scene when the Trans Am jumps over the river. Okay.
Yep.
People in the audience stood up and applauded.
Yeah,
I didn't, but this was
said-
small town Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
People stood up and applauded for Burt Reynolds jumping his Trans Am over a river.
What was it called? Smokey and the what?
And the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
get crowd interaction at a movie and like a town like that, a small
Yeah.
town, that's pretty
That says a
amazing.
lot.
So
Yeah,
we had an experience like that, but that was like Avengers Endgame. Like I was because this was a culmination of like
Yeah.
10 years and
Yes.
20 movies.
Yeah, it's
So
like
the
we
scene-
got $200 invested in this by now.
The scene with what's his name? Captain America when he picks up Thor's hammer.
Yep.
Yes.
The movie theater went bonkers.
Yeah.
Like, oh
And
my
I was one of them. I was one of them. I'm sitting there crying like this is so great. This is cinema gold.
I am inevitable.
Yeah.
I am Iron Man.
All right, so I have a question because we had that experience on the opening night of The Matrix. So is Matrix Millennial or Gen
Yes.
X?
Okay, because it came out in 99.
Millennium.
It's right on the edge, right?
Came out in
Right.
99. So
Yeah.
I was 12, but I was there opening night.
We were too.
Your Baptist parents let you go see The Matrix on opening night.
Yes, because it was considered an allegory for Jesus.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
that is true.
It is true.
I have to.
But you know it's not.
I have to go rewatch it because when I was watching, I forgot how old I was. Well, I was.
You were
a baby.
2.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
2.
no,
Clear. It came out in
no.
1999.
No.
But when I did watch it, I didn't like really understanding like how all the hidden messages in it.
yeah.
So I have to go rewatch that. Is there only one?
There's 4.
Oh,
No,
4?
yeah, there are 4 of them.
yeah.
They go
Probably gonna be a
downhill
fifth
from there. Though.
And I would
Yeah.
say The
That's
Matrix,
crazy.
we again saw in LA, and we saw it at the Man Chinese Theater, which is an iconic movie
that
theater
one.
on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And people were insane. They had the Star Wars.
Oh yeah, it was,
What was
right
it?
when Phantom Menace was about to come out.
99,
So they had the
yeah.
trailer, and in the middle, before the Matrix film, they played the trailer, and 2 dudes had their lightsabers
And started
in their-
fighting.
and they started
Are you
fighting in the air.
serious?
You know, the theater's black, and then all of a sudden you see these lightsabers go up, and these 2 dudes are like kind of dueling in the air or whatever,
Yeah.
and everybody went berserk. And then the Matrix she drugged me there. I was like, what is this stupid movie? I didn't like Keanu Reeves.
Everything is
very
green.
much back- I do now. Mostly because I've seen his internet, his social media.
I like him.
Yeah, exactly. He's a good guy. And so anyway, but back then he was just people would always sandbag him for being a doofus,
But what is a
it was a
good
great movie.
movie? What, did you see the new Star Wars?
That
newest
was, it's hard to,
Which one is that?
it was the one,
It
it was the one in 99 where it's like there had been that long layoff
prequels?
between Return of the Jedi.
Some of the prequels.
Yeah, one of the prequels. Yeah.
Well, they
the
did-
first one.
Mm-hmm.
So there's. Sound like a nerd here. Okay, so there's 9 Star Wars movies. You have
Exactly.
the original ones that came out in the 70s and 80s. Then you
Right.
have the prequels that came out in 99 to 2007.
Yeah.
And then you have the
End.
sequels
Right.
that came out in, I think, 2013 to 2019.
Right. With Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
and all
those didn't do too well.
No, they didn't.
The
People were
fans,
over it by
yeah,
then.
fans said they deviated way too far from the story.
So it was a prequel that we saw, Teondra.
You
that's
saw the
like-
prequel.
And they
Yeah.
just kept
And
telling
the
the same.
previous
It was the
disturbance
same
in the
movie
Force.
over and over and over again. I mean, it was like,
And that was a no.
like at what point do they decide? Well, we're going to protect this air vent in the Death Star. Like, like at least 3 movies end that way. I'm like,
yeah.
those
Those are also an allegory for Jesus. Christians find a way to
they do.
incorporate.
E.T.
Yeah,
Oh,
But they don't
yeah.
like Disney. Christians don't like Disney.
no, now they don't.
So what do you guys? The Little Mermaid. That was a big one. That movie was really trending. Like now.
That was just a couple years ago.
You talking about the recent one?
the,
Yeah.
the recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Little Mermaid. It was a big controversy, like with going from a Caucasian mermaid to a
Oh
black
yeah,
mermaid. It was a lot.
Yeah.
With that movie.
a lot of grown adults just upset that there's a
Right.
black mermaid now.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
It was,
Yo,
Yeah,
what is that
that's
about?
sad.
Like,
Don't know.
and that,
I don't know. Even though we're white, we don't know
Yeah.
what the deal is.
come on, you don't have friends. You don't have friends that are like, hey, you see that?
I'm a,
Oh,
I'm a
Black
how do you
mermaid?
feel? How
mermaid
do you-
purist.
What do you think about that? You don't have any friends that?
No, I'm
I would
happy
think
to
y'all would
say
check
we
them.
don't have anybody in our
maybe,
hemisphere.
Maybe family, but no
We probably have
friends.
some family members. Yeah, we do.
No friends,
In fairness,
but maybe family.
yeah, nobody who's invited to the table would say something like that.
They would
no.
just say something stupid like, "Oh, they're trying to make Little Mermaid woke." That's
Yeah.
what they would say.
Or they would say, or it would be sort of a cynical view, like, oh, they just want to repackage Mermaid, and now they're going to do it for a black audience, and it would be more toward Disney just being sort of vile and greedy, as
Right.
opposed to I can't believe there's a black mermaid, we don't get down like that. We don't have people.
we don't
on
have
that
friends
subject.
like that, but family, yeah, maybe. Like I said, like there could
probably
be
do.
family, but
Yeah.
not friends. I don't know. The way I looked at it was, as a white person, I looked at it just like, well, it's finally time that Disney represents
right.
people across the board. I mean, it was too long overdue. So
Yeah.
that's how I felt.
There's some purists out there that will
Oh, for sure.
disagree with you.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Oh, Snow White is now Latina?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my
For sure.
God.
Oh, well, there's a whole news network on
Well,
that.
she's not Snow White.
Yeah.
If she's
Yeah.
not white, she's not
Yeah.
Snow White.
Yeah.
She's
Well, of
Snow
course.
Brown or black.
Snow Brown.
Snow Black.
She's mud.
See, I feel like as people, like we're not colors. Like I don't see color. We're not black. We're not white.
And
we're not,
I would say Gen Zs are the most advanced
yeah, with
in that realm.
Yeah.
So it's good that we bring this up because I feel like Gen Xers turn the corner on a lot of that stuff throughout our growth. Like probably not when we were kids because that's not how we were taught.
Right.
But by the time we got to high school and then obviously college changed a lot for all of us. It opened our eyes, and now all of a sudden we're all dancing to Bobby Brown just like everyone else, you know?
Yeah.
And then by the time we became young adults and saw our gay friends being persecuted for not being able to marry or whatever, and when that was finally allowed and the Supreme Court let that go through, it's like now we're rejoicing with them. So Gen Xers really, and we are kind of split in our like generationally, which is why, you know, depending on what state you're in or whatever, like there are people who would, in my generation, would adamantly disagree with me. But by the time it got to your generation, and now especially your generation, it's like, and I think I speak for a lot of Gen Xers who think like me when I say, I'm glad a lot of this BS is off the table. You know what I mean? It's just like, let's just get to voting and find the best leaders and all that.
You guys are really progressive, though. I mean, I would even say, I mean, y'all, because you have young children and
we do,
and you have a millennial child too. So I think you guys' finger is in the pulse a lot more than some people who are also share your generation that maybe don't have kids or maybe grew up in a different part. Because y'all are from LA, so you guys are like there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right at the heart of progression and all that other stuff. So I think y'all see things through a different lens.
We're probably not typical.
No, you're not at all. Not at all.
I do have a question. I know this is going to go off topic a tiny bit, but you said something that was interesting, and I just wanted to ask you about it. You said that you don't see color. But then I saw someone on TV. I don't know who it was. It may have been a commentator. I can't remember. But it was an African-American woman who found that to be very offensive, that white people say that. Because when I was growing up, I don't know, as I got older, I would find people in my generation saying things like, I don't see color. And we thought, white people thought that was a compliment to anyone of color,
right?
Like, that we don't see color. And then
that's how I said it.
Okay,
that's how I put it in that perspective.
So then this woman that I saw on TV said it's an insult to us because you should see our color, because our color represents so much pain and so much suffering. So when you say you don't see our color, it's an insult to us. So what should we do as white people? Just tell us. Should we see you? Should we see you as black? Should we see you? Tell us what you want us to do.
From my perspective, I see it both ways. I see it because as a person of color, and for you guys, I think you guys should see color because we have different experiences. We've lived completely different experiences. So that's why I think that you should see color. Based off of what Teondra was saying, is that she shouldn't see color. Her perspective may be, you can, correct if I'm wrong here, is that we should all be on the same level now.
Yeah,
so
that's how I was
those things color shouldn't separate us anymore, because I mean, her perspective is different. We're all on the same level now.
Right.
Before it was you guys know that it was nowhere near that. So maybe that's what her perspective is. That
you're definitely correct when it comes down to that. Because and when I say that, like when people are like, oh, we're black, we're white as well, like you guys are Caucasian, you have a nationality. Like even we have a nationality. Right. We're not black, like we're not color. We're human beings at the end of the day. So like he said, it's all about us being on that same level and just not seeing past, oh, you're white, you're black. But in that perspective of how she put it, when it comes down to the trauma that, we dealt with and stuff like that, like, because if we got stopped by a police officer, like they're going to react different to you guys than us.
It's true.
So 100%. it's just when she probably said it like that and meant it like that when it comes down to different situations.
Right.
But how Phil explained it, like that was my perspective.
Yeah, I would also say historically, white folks have used I don't see color or I can't be racist because I have a black friend, Eddie, at work. Like they've historically used that as a deflection device to sort of obscure the fact that maybe whatever they just said was kind of racist or whatever, whatever they were being called out on. Well, that can't be me, or I don't see color. Or,
do you think white people know they're racist?
Heck no.
I feel like it's taught. You're not born racist. You're not born being racist. It's
but do you think they're just oblivious to it? Because that's just how they live their life?
Yeah.
So
I
they
do
don't
think
know?
a lot of people,
There are things, like you just brought up the police. There are things when I get pulled over as a white man that I just don't consider that you might consider if you got pulled over as a black man.
I am
And
the whitest black guy when I get pulled over, because this is a serious conversation.
Yeah.
And I wish Karen was
You
here.
could lose your life.
But here's the thing. So my family and my father, they had to give me the talk. Y'all probably gave your children the talk. No. And I have my photographer Leon here. He knows Orange. He knows what I'm talking about here. When your parents tell you this,
Yeah.
to prepare yourself for interaction with the police, because you may lose your life based off of nothing that you did.
Exactly.
Right.
So I agree, but I joke around and say I'm the whitest black guy when it comes to being stopped, because I have to be.
Right.
Because at a glance, I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. I'm a big MFer.
stereotype.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
they
they'll
really
stereotype
do.
me until they walk up to me and I'm like, hello, sir.
Okay, so I do have a question asking from a white perspective. When we, meaning people, see the news and a black man is pulled over and he runs or is aggressive, as a white person, I'm always like, why is he doing that? He already has a target on him. Why?
We say that too. I feel like
Do
I
you?
say that like
Okay, because I'm like,
don't because it's some people that really would put themselves in a position to have the police to react like that. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
But still, even though if you run, that is not justification to get killed.
yeah,
I agree with you.
Right.
But you
So
know
what?
the
He ran.
chances he shouldn't run though. Like, don't run because you're already a target.
Agreed.
But some people don't know how to deal. Like, it's trauma. Like,
Yeah.
that's why they're
Like, oh
some
my God, the
people
police are
run,
after,
like,
I'm stopped. Even though they didn't do anything wrong, their first natural fight or flight. They,
Right.
Right.
they run.
There's a
and they feel like, oh, I could get away. I'm gonna try. But
And black people
I
are
don't know,
fast.
it's
They probably can get away. You know what I'm saying?
Many do.
You
Yeah,
can
I
jump
think many do.
fences,
But speaking of this, let's get on the topic with about George Floyd. Well, we had another
Yeah. So
Introduction.
I do want to get into this, and then we'll end the show with the game that we're going to play. So
Sure.
big social events that impacted our generations, right? I'll start off with mine, and then we can kind of go with y'all. So mine, and I know this happened, everybody experienced it, but it was really big for me. It was 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was it was 2001, so I was in high school, and I was in first period. It was my environmental science class when we got the news, and we heard about it, and we were like, oh my God,
Wow.
this is insane. What is happening?
You were in class.
We were in class when it happened.
That's
and
right.
So the
'Cause
whole
you're on the East Coast.
yeah,
And
it was
9
8:46.
a.m.
8:46 is when the first tower was
Yeah.
hit, and we had it on the TV when the second tower hit. So it showed
too.
it, and everybody was just watching like, oh my God, and this is
Yeah.
insane. And I grew up in a big military area over.
Oh, you're in Virginia. That had to be scary.
Yeah, because a lot of
Yep.
the staff and a lot of people were from the military.
Yeah,
So we were
especially
like,
when you heard there was one that either had at that point
Pentagon.
gone to the
Yep.
Pentagon or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. So that was like really, and obviously that changed the world. We went to war. We've been into 20-year war, honestly,
Yes.
over
Right.
there for what? Weapons
Yeah.
of mass destruction that
Right.
they never found.
So
Right.
speaking of, our generation, we think it was 9/11 was a whole conspiracy theory when it comes down to the government.
You think that? Your whole generation?
Yeah, have you guys seen the $20 bill with the twin towers on it? Like, it's like a way you fold it and you see the twin towers and like the plane actually going towards the
No.
building.
Never saw that. no.
Never.
Uh-uh.
Oh my God, it was a middle school thing. Like I actually did it myself. I'm gonna have to show you guys.
Oh, you're going to
so you
have
can
to
see that.
show us.
I'm gonna have to show you guys that. But it was really when it came to 9/11 that the government did it. Like
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
there were a lot of truth or conspiracies that happened afterward, you know. A lot of people, I mean, of all generations at that point, especially the bunker types.
Do you think it was an inside job?
I do
Do you?
not.
How y'all feel?
Absolutely.
No?
I don't. Nope, not at all.
I think it was missed. Yeah. I think the one thing that gets,
When you say missed, you mean they missed it?
yeah, meaning they missed it, but I guess it was just a false sense of security that the United States had at the time. And I think the reports that bin Laden was in Afghanistan, like I think they just underestimated what he could accomplish with his little tribe of people.
We'll put this on
that's crazy.
screen. We'll
Okay.
show it.
So did you think it was?
Yes.
You're a conspiracy theorist.
No.
But
A lot
you
of
think
people
it was
think
an
it's fake.
inside job.
You think,
Yes.
who do you think it was? Cheney?
That I mean, it has to do with some upper echelon of but there's just so many things. There's
Illuminati stuff.
no, not that. But there's a movie that you should watch called Zeitgeist.
I've seen it.
That was, I mean, that
What was it
kind of
called?
Zeitgeist. That kind of opened my eyes. I was like, dang, okay. And then they
Is it a documentary?
You can
It's
find
a
it on
documentary.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a documentary. And the movie Zeitgeist is separated into 3 parts. The first part was about 9/11. The second part, I think, was about the war on drugs.
Yeah.
And the third part was oil, something like that. But it was really eye-opening, because honestly, when you think about it, it's not really out of the realm of history. Think about what happened with the ships. I think Germany sunk their own ships and blamed it on another country.
The Reichstag fire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what got Hitler into power.
Yeah, so
was a
it's-
false flag
it's
operation.
not-
That's where the term comes from.
Yeah, it's not something that's completely out of the realm. And us as a country capable of doing it. And when you look at like the Pentagon, like where the plane at? Like, do you look at the wreckage and stuff? I'm not going to get into that. But
He and I went down this rabbit hole recently because I was like, I don't know. I think that was a missile or whatever.
Yeah,
And
it just
then,
look. It don't look. It doesn't look.
Where the plane at?
She started Googling
Building
it and
building
then-
7. How building 7 didn't even get hit. It just, and that was where all the records were. And like 2 days before, they lost $2 trillion. So I mean, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it
Okay.
was an inside job.
Conspiracy.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
2 generations to 1.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I know.
All right, well, what about you guys? So, you guys are
What's
Gen
your
X.
event?
So
It would be the Berlin Wall.
can you educate for those who do not know?
Gosh, I'm just not a great historian.
1989.
Okay, I was going to say, what is it?
some research.
1989? Or yeah, it was 1989. I was going to say 1988, but 1989. It was a wall that separated East Germany, West Germany, and let me get this straight. So East Germany was the one that was communist. West Germany was free. And you know what's interesting is I was a young girl. I was a senior in high school and I worked at a retail store in the mall. And I'll never forget, this woman came in to buy something and she was with her sister who lived in the States, and she was from East Germany. And it was the first time I ever met anybody that was from a communist country. And I remember asking her questions about it. And she had said to me, she just was allowed to come on a trip for like 2 weeks. She had waited 10 years to come and see her sister for 2 weeks. It was really like awe is the right word. Like I was in awe. I've only read about communist countries in history books. So to meet somebody who was from the east part of Germany, I couldn't believe it. And then it was honestly just, I think 2 years later that the wall came down, and she was the first person I thought of. I thought, oh, that woman I met, she can come and see her sister now whenever she wants.
So what did the walls signify? What did it?
It was a division between freedom and oppression.
Yeah, to
There was
prevent his population from escaping Soviet control.
Yes.
East Berlin to West Berlin.
Yeah, it was an agreement basically that the Soviet Union agreed to separate that part of Germany, which was included in the Soviet Union, and the other part was, a democratic country. That was a huge one for sure.
There are people who have pieces of the wall that we know that were either had family members there. I mean, that's crazy. You actually see pieces of the wall in art installations in some galleries. Yeah. You'll see it, and it's like that is truly a piece of history.
Yeah. So, and I would say we, much like Gen Z and now even the younger kids, were maybe you to a degree, I'm not sure if how much of this Millennial saw, but the active shooters at high schools where they train you on how to, respond to that or whatever. We grew up with nuclear fallout that could happen at any moment. And they would teach us to hide under our desks from nuclear bombs.
What was I going to do?
I know exactly. But we would have to do, and so we were just Cold War kids. We were just raised that way.
It's a good band name.
Yeah, it is. It is a good band name. It's an actual band.
It's an actual band name.
Oh, really?
It is an actual
That was
band.
original.
So you gonna bring a band with his band? And you got the
No,
name.
it's-
Band called Cold War Kids. Yeah.
We'll make it our theme song. And so,
Yeah, do a band with you and the kids.
yeah. Oh, jeez. And so we were just, it was just a fabric of life. Like every time something happened in the Soviet Union, we would know about it. We talked about it in a previous episode on our show, the Miracle on Ice, Lake Placid, the U.S. hockey team in the Olympics somehow beat this juggernaut of steroid-laden Russian hockey players, and we did it with a bunch of mechanics and college kids, and so it was really our David versus Goliath story. Rocky IV was one of the biggest movies of our generation because Rocky had graduated to the point where he could fight the biggest Ivan Drago, Dolph Lundgren. And so it was just like everything was just so anti-Russia growing up. Even our comedies. We had a comedy called Stripes. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Bill Murray. And he and another guy are on some mission with the U.S. Army, and they mistakenly find themselves in the Soviet Union. So, and it's just all about their escape and everything, and comedy and all that. So,
So when the wall came down, I think for Americans, it meant one less thing that Russia could control. I mean, if I had to tell you from a young person's perspective, it was like, oh, one less thing. It's
we felt like
step
we had
toward
won.
freedom. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no, and now
So
it's
that was the end of the Cold War, right?
It was.
It was.
It was. Yes.
Fall of the wall.
that
Okay.
version of the Cold War. And now we're in another one, obviously, right now. But
Right.
So, Teondra, what about you though? So, you did mention George Floyd, but I mean, you
Yes.
probably got the one that we are all going through right now, right?
COVID.
COVID.
COVID was definitely a big one.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Especially
Right.
for kids that are in school.
Yeah.
So how
I
did it
still
affect
to
you?
this day forget like kids are back in school for how long they've been out of school and like the breaks that they was taking. I'm like, oh dang, oh the kids are in school. Like it affected me a lot as well because we lost a lot of people that we never thought we was gonna lose. Like
Did you lose
to
anybody?
COVID. I know someone, rest in peace. His name was Jacquees. He actually passed from COVID. And it was crazy because he was kind of like,
Yeah.
I would just never thought it would have been from COVID. Like, I don't know what to say to that. I just never thought it would have been from COVID. And then other people that I know, they lost a lot of their people. It was just very hard. And then I feel like it brought us together as well as a family because we had to stay in the house and just come up with solutions of what if this does happen. Like, just the what ifs. But
Did it bring your family closer together? Or
it actually did. It brought my family closer together because we was all in the house with my sister. And then I was working from home. And then like we were just doing activities, painting, doing stuff that like we never did before, like painting, just different activities and just talking about God and then watching Trump on the TV. Like that made us like really get into the news. I know for me, cause I wasn't a news, like a big news person.
Yeah.
And around that time I learned how to trade. And
Good for you.
that was
I think she bought
That
that
was
Lincoln.
Oh, good for you. Oh, you gotta help me.
Yeah, the foreign exchange market. So it was good, but then it was bad.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. COVID saved my business. You guys hear me preach that because as media, I come from radio, so I left radio before COVID happened, and I took all of our advertisers with us. And then when COVID happened, that was the first thing that they cut was our advertising budget. So I was like, oh no, my business is screwed, But now everybody's stuck at home. I was like, well, you can't come to my place. Let me come to your place, and then that's kind of just how I adapted from that.
I wonder how many podcasts started during 2020.
Oh, let me tell.
2021. Do you know the number?
Yes.
What is it?
800,000
Yeah.
Really?
I believe it.
from 2020
I
to
might look that number
2022.
up.
Yeah.
Over 800,000 podcasts started.
I believe it.
You know how many are still around? Probably barely.
75,000.
Probably
Maybe
not.
75,000.
Probably not that many of them. And just from an equipment perspective, you already know this. The prices went skyrocketed.
Yeah. Yeah.
For everything. So like, this microphone,
Groceries.
I forget how much it cost, but it probably tripled in 2021.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff I already had. I'm like, man, this stuff is like 3 times the cost now.
Milk
Yeah.
milk is $6.
Yes.
Milk.
That's disgusting.
Eggs $12.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything did go up during COVID.
Did you guys
How
have
did you
any
guys- Yeah.
major issues with COVID? Did you guys get COVID? Did you get it?
No, we were one of those crazy Californian people. I mean, we legitimately were crazy California
Yeah, we
people.
hunkered down.
We did not see anybody. We had.
Oh yeah, y'all were locked up. Y'all
No,
couldn't
we
leave.
were. And
City of 11 million people. Refrigerate it's a hoax. It's a this. It's a that.
Nope, we saw it.
No, we saw refrigerated trucks outside the hospital. Like we know.
We saw tents in
wow.
parking lots, like hospitals that are our hospitals where we go and see our doctors. The parking lots were covered in tents, like the huge tents now were the parking lots. So when people would call and say it's not really a thing, and I would say, it is, because I just drove by an outside morgue. So I live in a city where it is real. So it was very offensive to me when people would say it's not real.
Yeah.
How did it feel with y'all's friends? Because it was like people, genuinely smart people. That's
Yeah.
the thing that's crazy. Like you
Yep.
generally smart, intelligent
Yeah.
people
Yep.
would deny this and die.
I would say,
Well, how did that make y'all feel when you saw like people like
we
you
didn't
you
hang out
loved
with
and
them.
trusted like relationship?
The thing for me was it wasn't like, yes, they were generally smart. I would say most of our friends were kind of split right down the middle.
Yeah.
You know? But the thing for me wasn't, are you going to get sick and die, or am I going to get sick and die, or whatever? It was just sort of, it really did reveal to me like who cares about their fellow man and who doesn't. And that made me view friendships a little differently after that, you know?
They weren't respectful.
Yeah.
And so we really did take it. I mean, I'm not kidding. We took it really serious. He
As
had
you should.
friends in his industry that died. So he
I
had
did.
5 editors that he knew. Some he knew, some he knew of that died. It was rattling. It was really, really rattling. I had a client. I owned a beauty business in LA, and I had a woman that I had just seen like maybe 6 months before, and she called to tell me that her husband died and his brother died. They owned a business together and they were contractors, and they were working at a place in February where people obviously had COVID. They were like installing windows or something in a commercial space, and he died, and then the brother died. So
That's
for people
crazy.
to say to me, it's not real, it doesn't happen, and they were dying of the flu, no,
Right.
no.
And now they're calling it a common cold. Like it's just a COVID is just a common cold now.
It could be, but that's also because people have been vaccinated. But nobody wants to talk about that. That
Yeah,
has
that's a
something
whole
to-
nother.
right. So, but
Like I've had it 3 times. I didn't
I've had
get
it
it until
4.
after I was vaxxed though, but you know, because I kind of like science and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you know,
like I'm sorry. If a doctor from Harvard is telling me that this will help me, then I'm going to listen to the doctor from Harvard. I'm not listening to the YouTube doctor. I'm just not. I truly do believe in science.
my friend Stanley from high school, who's been on YouTube and has done the research. I'm using air quotes as I
Yeah.
say that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, oh, who do you trust? I'm like, well, dude, you didn't pass biology in the 10th grade. So
That was a
I'm not
big
gonna
thing
listen to
as
you.
well. Like when it came down to the vaccine, it was because it's a lot of it's.
Well,
My
I
sister
was-
was more
I was gonna
spiritual
gonna
with
ask,
it.
let's talk
Right.
about this
Okay,
because
black people feel
because-
differently about the
yes,
vaccine.
in
we
the
know
black
that.
in the black
Yeah.
community, there's a built-in, for obvious and understandable reasons,
Yep.
mistrust when it comes to those kind of things. So,
So did you see white
Yeah.
people getting it, and then we're like, all right, they're still alive. I think we'll get it.
No, not like that. But-
I was one of the first to get it because I worked in the hospital.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So I was around and I would transport specimens and body parts.
Oh,
And so like
oof.
I had that were infected with COVID, you know, I was one of the first ones to get it. So I was like, you know, so and I've had health issues, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I ain't
can't fool around.
not taking no chances,
Right.
you know,
Right.
but yeah, the distrust and, you know, with black people. Oh, and the one thing with the hyper Christians was that, oh, we'll just let Jesus take care of it. And I'm
Well,
like,
he will.
oh yeah,
And your,
Yeah.
and your kid will die, and he will.
yeah, God will sort it out.
Oh,
all
yeah,
right.
he will.
ooh, boy. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like God gave you doctors, He gave you medicine, and
Yeah.
you know. But I mean that when you're talking about religion, that cuts across all demographics. You know what I mean? So I mean, there are plenty of white Christians who are like, "There's no way," and
Yeah.
You know,
and they're,
some people think, oh, it's the mark of the beast, or like
Yeah.
a lot of people was really
yeah,
thinking
like
that,
Bill
but-
Gates was going to microchip them.
Yeah.
right.
This is the start of it.
I know, it's like, bro, you have an iPhone. Like everybody knows where you
Knows
are.
where you are,
Arby's or Walmart. Arby's or Walmart. Like everybody knows. You know?
And then there was some people was also saying that the owner or the person that actually made the vaccine, he didn't even get the vaccine himself. So why should I? Type like.
I mean, I do believe
it's a
that
lot
there
to
is
it.
some level of shenanigans, but not to the point where it's like it's not real. You know what I'm saying? I do believe there's some point of
Yeah.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
You
involved,
can't
but-
argue with numbers. You can't. There were so many numbers of people that had died. You can't, and that doesn't all mean the flu.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, we're not going to end the show on a bad note here. We're going to have some fun here. I do have some dancing stuff. We'll probably skip those, but let's go. Let's end the show with some trends. So, as Gen Xers, you know, there's a big gap between you guys and Teondra, and so you actually cultivated a list, some pictures of people and trends, and I guess we're going to see if Teondra
Knows the
can
trend.
know
Let's see.
know these trends here. So, Dean, I think the first one is the car, and then we can just kind of move on from the list from that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh.
Smokey and the Bandit.
All right, Teondra, do you know what that is? Do you know what you call it?
Convertible something. I don't know.
It's not even curved. It's a T-top.
Similar.
a T-top, but
She's understanding it.
It's not a convertible.
A drop top. What is
A
that?
half
The same
top.
thing?
I like
a
it.
half top.
A halter top.
It is a quintessential Gen X T-top. That is the Trans Am T-top.
Yeah.
Smoking the Bandit, right?
Yes, but that is like
And the Camaro, there were Camaros that had them too.
I did just see the car on the movie.
every high school had one hot guy who drove that car.
Yeah. One little rich kid.
All the girls went out there, huh?
He had the T-tops and it was black and it had the bird.
Yeah.
With the leather jacket, right?
Oh yeah.
That was
the Letterman. He had the Letterman
jacket
on. Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're talking
everybody
about
is-
Fast Times at Ridgemount High, you know.
Yeah.
There you go. Sean Penn, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Forrest
See?
Whitaker drove that. He was the star
That's
football
right.
player, right?
Forrest Whitaker was in that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Pre-Lazy Eye or?
Yep. No, he had lazy eye.
I
think he had lazy eye then.
Oh, man. All right. Who we got next, Dean?
So I was almost there.
Okay, I'm not sure which way I'm going here.
Just follow the line. That's all.
Oh.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
A lot
I
of
don't even know what that
bikers
is.
wear that type of.
They do.
Is that from the Warriors? Those settings,
What is?
though.
I don't know
good one, though.
what
You
you
do the
call it
words.
exactly.
Okay.
A lapel or something like.
So if you were to look at, especially if you look at the red patch, that's your big clue. It says breaker, breaker. This is actually a vest. Do you remember CB radios? Have you ever heard of CB radios? People used to put them. They were huge in the 70s. And it was basically, we didn't have cell phones, Teondra. Like we didn't have any of that stuff. We weren't even close to that. We weren't even close to the big brick phones yet. And
Not
people would
emails?
use these radios in their cars that truckers would also use to communicate with each other. And so this vest is actually for the people who really geeked out on CB radios. They would start CB clubs. And they would meet, especially if you're like in the Midwest or rural America.
I think Dean was part of that.
Dean,
Hey now.
I bet Dean was part of it.
Dean was in a CB club.
Okay,
My
so I did have a
parents-
CB handle for a little bit, but
Oh my God. My dad built a CB tower as high as a Tower of Babel.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, my mother was like, he's spending so much money on this stuff. And it's just to talk to people. It was the only thing. But they were in a CB club and they would go to other like, VFW halls all over the region, and all these CB club adults would come and hang out and talk about CB life and all that. It was the weirdest thing.
So it's like a biker club too.
I know
CB club,
it was the crappiest biker club you could ever be a part of. They didn't do drugs. They didn't party. Maybe they partied. I don't know. But it was always donuts and coffee,
But you was cool if you had that vest on.
allegedly. But you weren't.
I love the lingo too. The lingo was, I'll throw a lingo at you from Trucker CB Radio Talk. Pregnant roller skate.
What the heck? What?
Pregnant roller skates.
It's also a great band name, but
Pregnant roller skate describes a certain type of car. Now, I'll let you guess.
a Volkswagen Beetle.
There you go. See how easy that was?
Roller skate. But the beauty about the CB, because you think, well, why not just pick up the phone if you want to talk to somebody? But with a CB radio, you never know who you're going to get. It's a surprise. Every
everybody.
time you get on that CB radio and you say 10-4, whatever, breaker, you don't know who you're going to get on the other end and where they live. So it could be like, it's a rando.
It's like the audio version of Omegle.
Oh, I thought 10-4. Does that come from the police as well, or it come from
That's CB radio.
CB? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
That
still
means
use
I got
10-4
you.
sometimes. 10-4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
10-4, good buddy.
10-4.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Dean, who we got next?
Going to the right once. Here we go.
The
Do you
hell
know
is
what
that?
those are?
Oh.
Those are still in.
No, they are.
Do you
They
know
had
what
to
those
have
are?
come back by now.
Do you know what they're called? The proper terminology?
No, I don't.
You don't know what they are?
I think Beyonce wore that on concert.
She may have.
What are these?
It gives me the material of a windbreaker jacket.
Very close.
yeah.
Very good. Very good guess.
So let me see what breaker bands or something. I don't.
You're so close.
You are. Those are parachute pants.
Oh, parachute
yeah.
pants.
They were called parachute
Oh.
pants. Everybody from the Karate Kid to Michael Jackson had a pair.
Mm-hmm.
And every kid in America would wear them with their pony high tops.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pony was a tennis shoe brand.
They don't have it anymore. I don't think ponies are around
P-O-N-Y.
anymore.
History repeat itself because I just saw
I think
somebody with those
that's
pants on.
I think that's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
they're
is
coming
back.
back. They're
It's
coming back
definitely
for sure. But
What
parachute
about
pants,
the bell bottoms? Did you guys have bell bottoms in your time?
That was before. So that was a
70s, yeah.
70s.
Like,
Oh, okay.
like if she or I had, well, your older brothers probably wore
Yes,
bell bottoms.
but not
Yeah.
not
Did you have
me.
Jinkos?
Jinkos. Oh, that sounds familiar. I
Jinkos.
don't remember
Jinko
that.
jeans. They were jeans, but they had the big flare at the bottom.
Oh, no.
The
Jordache
skater boys.
jeans
The
were-
skater boys wore those.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was-
they were
there
like
was-
really wide legs.
There was a
right?
racist connotation with that too.
Oh, really?
Really?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Jinko was JNCO. It was jeans ends can't own.
Jeans,
Oh,
what?
God.
Jeans,
That's what people thought, but I'm not. That's obviously not the reason why. But
Oh, jeez.
all right, who we got next?
That's crazy.
Okay. Going to the right ones.
What is
It's
that?
a skating ring.
Oh, that's what that
You
is.
know, it's crazy.
Is somebody dying on the bottom? Like what
I
is
know.
it?
Skating.
That kid's about to wipe out.
I love the skating ring. I really, really love it. And I just went,
That's
and
coming back.
I feel like I went back to my childhood.
So you skated when you were younger?
Yes, I used to. Every year for my birthday, we went to the skating ring and what was it? Bourne Hill.
Oh,
You
wow.
guys heard of Bourne Hill?
No.
It's like a Golden Corral.
Oh,
It
really?
was, yeah.
No,
But they call it Bourne
Oh,
Hill.
no way.
You want to know a secret about me?
What's that?
I am a excellent skater and ice skater.
Ice skater. That I
We
know.
should
Yeah,
go
we
skating.
My
talked
big
about
ass,
we
my
should
big
go.
ass can skate. I can do the
Awesome.
yeah.
Good balance.
I had
Yeah.
to learn how to skate all over again though, but it
Yeah.
was fun. It really took me back. I love skating, and then especially if you have a good DJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was everything.
Yes,
That was
good
everything.
DJ.
So for us growing up, and even though I grew up in a city and he grew up in the sticks, we share the same exact experiences. Friday night roller skating.
You had to be at the skating
school.
rink.
After school,
Yeah.
like
When
you
you were
got there
young.
at 5 or 6 and you were there till 8 or 9. And if you weren't there, it was social suicide.
Oh my god, memory
Do
just
not even
unlocked. Did y'all
show
ever
up.
have the lock-ins?
Oh,
Lock-in.
Holy smokes!
Yeah,
they used to have those.
No, for the skating rink, they had the lock-ins at the skating rink or bowling alley.
Oh, so
Yeah.
kids couldn't like leave and start
Yeah, but
smoking.
it was like
or
until, like,
drinking or
24
whatever.
hour, like the
no, it was like
overnight?
it was
Yeah.
like
Overnight.
Yeah,
They used to have.
No,
it was a skating
I
rink
didn't
in
have
that.
located in Winter Garden. I don't think it's
and
there anymore.
everybody was like locked in. So you
So
were
like
there.
what time in the morning did your parents pick you up?
I think it was like 1 or 2.
yeah, 1 to 2 in the morning.
Oh no, I don't.
Nice.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I think
That
ours
was
went a little
definitely
later. I said it was 9 or 10. I think you skated till 11, but it was literally social suicide. If you showed up on school in 5th grade on Monday and you weren't at the rink on Friday, oh, you were
Loser.
out.
There
Oh,
was a
on
time. and
Goldenrod.
here's another. Oh, sorry. Here's another trend though. Corporal punishment, and that trend ties in because you can get paddled at school back then, and I got paddled in 4th grade by my principal because well, it's just a long story, but I knew that it was social suicide to not be. There was a skating party that night, and I did not tell my mother. I told my mother that I got in trouble, but I did not tell her I got cracked. We used to call it getting cracked. And my teacher, who was the one responsible for me getting paddled, was at the skating rink that night. And she and my mom had words, and my mom found out
That
that
you was
I
there.
was lying about being in trouble, and or to the degree in which I was in trouble. And you want to talk about social suicide? My mother pulled me out of the skating rink and cracked me again in the parking lot, and that was it. And everybody at school on Monday knew all about
Boys
my
will get cracked on.
yeah. I got double cracked that day, but leaving the skating party was death.
All
Bro,
right,
that's
who we got next,
embarrassing.
Dean?
So that was a really big trend
It
growing
was.
up.
It
for
still
me.
is now. It
Okay.
still is. The one on Goldenrod, you guys should check it out. They have
Okay.
R&B nights on Thursdays
Oh.
from 9 to 11. Only
Nice.
16 and up. So definitely nice.
Okay, this isn't the person. There's something about this photo that it was extremely popular for Gen Xers. Do you know what it is? Can you tell?
Did the blush?
That's a good one, but that's not it. How can you miss
kinda,
it?
She kind of looked like those people.
Those people.
Who was
What do you mean
looking
those
up-
people?
Wait, what did you call it? The people who make themselves look weird.
What?
Make herself look weird. It's her hair. So it's called a
Oh.
perm. And everyone in the 80s had a perm, and that is the quintessential perm. Like
That's a white person perm.
That's a
It's
white
different.
person.
It's different.
Opposite, like curls.
for
Like
us.
her hair was curled up.
Yeah, so that's a perm, and every single person had that hairstyle. If you were a white woman, teenager, 20s, everyone
It
had
didn't
that.
even matter what race. Even
No.
the black girls and the Mexican girls had those.
Had the
Yeah.
perms.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I
the
still
black
get 'em
perm is
now.
always different a little bit. The black perm is usually straightener.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight turns it straight for. I did that one time. Never gonna do it again. I had a big old afro. I permed it. I had straight hair. I was like a fat black woman.
A fat black woman.
I was like, nope.
No, it was those people you showed me. It's because of her eyes. Like
She
they
has
look
lots
like,
of eyeliner on.
Yeah, what was it? The kennel. What was it? The weird looking people use like it kind of scare us. It frightens you a little bit.
Goth.
Oh, the
Are we
Uncanny
talking goth?
Valley.
Yes,
That's
that.
different show.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Who we got next?
Okay,
Okay.
now
She's
these are going to
beautiful,
be
though.
okay.
She's
So these are people now. We like. Do you know who these are? Very iconic people of our generation growing up. Do you know who this is?
I don't. I'm not even gonna lie.
Tell her the show. Tell her
The show is called Happy Days. It was a very popular show growing up, well into like high school even.
Nope.
He still acts. She's not gonna get it.
I'm about to say Jim Carrey.
Oh goodness! His name is Henry Winkler. He's an actor, and he played this character called the Fonz. And that show was on the air probably for 7 years.
Wait,
8 years.
he's a
It was
much. What's
very
his name
popular.
again?
Henry Winkler.
Henry
but
Winkler
it's
is the
called
actor. He's a
Fonz.
producer now as well. But yeah, Arthur Fonzarelli is the character's name, and everybody called him Fonzie or the Fonz.
Yeah, and so that's from a show called Happy Days, which was. You mentioned Happy Days to a Gen Xer, and it just brings back all kinds of memories.
Hey.
This was the Back to the Future guy.
Back to the Future guy.
No,
Was it? No?
Nope, not at all. That's Michael J.
Oh,
Fox.
she's
that's-
looking up the picture of the professor
The
who looks like
professor.
Henry Winkler
Yeah,
now.
no, it's
Yeah,
not the professor.
no, it's a different guy.
Different white guy with gray hair. Yeah,
Back to the
All right.
Future guy.
Who we got next?
I'm wondering if anyone's ever heard the expression "jump the shark."
yeah. He jumped the shark.
He jumped. Yeah.
No, I
That's
haven't. What does
that-
that mean?
Go ahead, Dean.
Jump the shark is when in a television series you go too far, one
the
season too
storyline.
long.
Mm.
You went off character. You just made a huge mistake in your TV series.
Like
They
that
jumped
zombie
the
movie.
shark.
Zombie
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, I would say like Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking
Yeah.
Dead.
Too many
Just-
seasons
Yeah.
after they
Too
killed
many
Glenn.
seasons.
Like when
too-
Glenn survived under the dumpster. That
There was
like jumping the shark.
Yeah.
one season that he jumped the shark, and
He literally jumped.
He
the
literally
shark.
jumped the shark in
On
a
his
speedo or
motorcycle.
something.
so that became
An
a
ocean.
a
It was a swimming pool.
very usable.
They had him in a tank, a shark tank.
Okay,
And
Who
he
we got
jumped the
next?
Shark Tank.
Okay, do you know who this person is? Iconic.
It's a beach show. What is it called?
I'm gonna say.
I know what she's gonna say.
Nope.
What is the beach
You want to
show?
say
Phil?
Baywatch?
Yeah, Baywatch. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, no, this was like Baywatch 1.0. This is way earlier than that. This is Farrah Fawcett. She was actually one of the original Charlie's Angels.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, which was a huge show. I think she was only on 1 or 2 seasons though in the 70s, right?
she-
And then she left.
She's beautiful.
Oh,
Sad
everyone
fact.
loves
She
her.
died the same day Michael Jackson died.
Oh, that's
Are you
right.
serious?
Yeah.
How
She
did she
did.
pass?
She had cancer.
She had cancer.
She was what, 59
Yeah.
as well. She wasn't.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
young.
and she
wasn't
was
that old.
married to, you still don't know who this is. She was actually married at one point to the $1 Million Man, Steve Austin, the real
$6
name.
million man.
$6 million. What'd I say?
You said the $1 Million Man. I'm thinking
Oh,
Ted DiBiase.
$6 million Man.
Inflation, inflation.
Yeah,
kinda helps.
sorry, I messed that up. Yeah, Lee Majors was her first husband, I believe.
All right, who we got next?
Oh,
I don't even know who that is. I don't know. I said it's a Partridge guy.
so
Denise is still looking for this man.
So I had a poster of him, life size, mind you, life size. So it was 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall, because they're always short.
He's so
5'5".
dreamy. He's so dreamy.
He is so dreamy. So
He
Is
looked
that
like-
is
he
that
looked
your
like
hall
a star.
pass?
That's
no,
yeah.
not now. No,
It's
no,
even
not
alive
now. It has
anymore.
changed. No, it is not. He's like 105 now. No, he would not be my hall pass. But when I was a teenage girl, oh my goodness, that is Sean Cassidy. He was a singer, and every girl was in love with him. So you know how the girls cry and scream and run after celebrities? That was him back in the 80s. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Sean Cassidy.
All right. Do you have any more or
I
no?
don't know.
Yeah,
who that is.
there's one more, I believe.
Two more.
Two more.
Okay.
Oh,
So little hint. You kind of mentioned it earlier
Yeah.
with the world events.
And truthfully, he was the one that Christians would say was marked as sign of the beast because of his birthmark on his
On
forehead.
his forehead.
Yes, so they really
I have that birthmark right on my chest. Same.
Uh-oh.
I don't know his name.
Okay, so his name is Mikhail Gorbachev, and he was the president of the USSR.
I'm gonna say he looked like a senator or something.
He basically helped end the Cold War. He was our ally in so many ways. So he was a huge figure in peace.
So why did they feel like he was the? Well, of course the birth, the
'cause he was-
birthmark, but
He was the Russian president for many years. How long was he? 25 years, 30 years, something
like that.
And so there were times where we didn't get along with him, but in the end, so he was the devil in so many ways. Christians looked at him as a devil, like he was going to bring on the Armageddon.
yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people felt that way because he and Ronald Reagan sort of worked it out to break up the Soviet Union. And a lot of, especially Christians, felt that was ushering in the new era of the New World Order.
Yes.
So, and that's where, like it was all an Illuminati thing. One government, the
Yes.
Antichrist would then
Right.
be able to enter stage right or whatever.
Do y'all feel like COVID was like a new world government thing?
Here we go. Conspiracy theories.
Yeah. I think every generation has one or two major events like that. You had 9/11.
I don't. I still think it was. I believe it always. I always thought it happened in a lab and was an accident. So I don't think it was planned. Like Fauci had anything to do with it or our government.
I don't think
No,
that.
I don't. I don't.
All right, last one.
Last one.
She just ripped one. What is she doing?
She looks like the lady that be on the workout televisions when you see at 2:00 in the morning.
Yep.
What's that person doing in the back though? What is he doing? He's like looking for.
What
I know.
is he doing?
He's like
What is he
he's about to
doing?
And
pass
her
out.
outfit was very, very. I think I seen somebody repost a video where the gym outfit she be having on. She's very popular for her clothes.
What is that?
Yes,
She
she
was.
is very
She's
popular.
very
Okay,
popular.
so you don't know who this is.
I don't
though.
know her name. No. But
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is an actress by the name of Olivia Newton-John, and she made this workout outfit and workout very popular in the 80s because she was in a movie called Physical. And the song was Let's Get Physical, right? I think that's the title of the song. It was a huge hit, and she wore neon bottoms, bright colored tops, headbands, and
high top socks.
Yes, everybody was working out, and this movie just emulated the 80s of workout culture, and she was a huge hit.
Yeah.
And she was also a huge hit though prior to this movie. She was in a movie called Grease.
Oh,
And
She played Sandy.
Sandy. So
She was the
okay.
original Sandy.
She passed away this year.
She did.
She did,
Was
yeah.
it this year? Or it was this year,
It
right?
was this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well-
think you're right.
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was very popular before this movie, but this movie, everyone started wearing that outfit, and so the trend of working out in
Aerobics.
spandex became quite popular.
All right. Even the person who actually was it the spandex lady? I think she just became a billionaire off of tights. I don't think it's exactly spandex, but I have to look her up.
Talking about
But-
the
Are you talking about Jane Fonda?
she was already loaded before that.
She kind of was, but are you talking about somebody right now currently with?
Yes,
okay, I don't know who
currently.
that is.
Oh yeah. I
But
don't know.
I just know they.
Spanx, the Spanx
I was
lady.
going to say the Spanx
Spanx,
lady.
the Spanx ladies. It is the Spanx lady.
You know her name?
Oh, yeah. Give me a second. I did know her name until you just asked me.
Sarah Blakely.
Sarah Blakely.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, she is the Spanx lady, but she designed Spanx. She didn't actually like work out in them. Like that wasn't. She was the design, the originator, the creator. Sorry, the creator of Spanx.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, look, today's been a complete blast from the past. I hope you enjoyed it. If you
Blast
have any,
off.
was that?
And I just said blast off.
Last so if we missed anything that you want to mention, make sure you mention it in the comments. Obviously, we need you to like and subscribe. Props to the channel. I mean, this is a new channel. We've been growing pretty quickly so far. So I want to thank everybody who has been a part of our growth and our continued success. We're gonna have more episodes like this. If you have any suggestions, obviously leave us a comment. We want to know what you think. I want to thank James and Denise from Skip Town All Stars.
Yes.
Before we get out of here, tell everybody about your podcast and where they can find you.
So you can find us at YouTube /at Skiptown All Stars. The thrust of our podcast is we are two Gen Xers on the loose. Our youngest went off to college, and as empty nesters, we sold everything in Los Angeles just to hit the country and find a new hometown. And that's almost what every episode deals with. But we talk a lot about other topics like the ones we spoke about in this show. So if you are so inclined, please check us out. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts if you're more into the audio version, or Spotify, and on
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Wherever you
And
find your podcasts.
and at Skiptown All Stars on Instagram. Follow us there.
Yeah, they're the couple goals.
Aw.
They travel, they understand each other. So, yeah, I want to know about some marriage advice. Go watch their podcast.
Oh, shoot. I don't know, man. That's setting the bar really high.
Oh, thank you.
They're just fun. They're really, really fun
works.
people.
Okay,
They're
thank you.
dope.
I've got some stuff for
So-
you guys. It's coming in the mail.
Oh.
It's some stuff for you. You saw this, the card stuff.
Oh yeah.
That we're gonna do a show
Okay.
Okay.
about that.
Okay.
And you're gonna learn some deep, dark stuff about each other, or you might get a divorce. I don't know. Yeah.
It's gonna be really fun because it getting deep.
Okay.
It get really deep.
Good.
If
I
she
love
hasn't
that.
left me by now, I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for having us
Yes.
today.
Thank
really
you, guys.
appreciate it. It's
Oh,
been
thank you
awesome.
both so
I learned
much.
a lot from you guys.
Oh,
I did.
oh,
I
really?
learned a lot.
That is so nice of you to say. 'cause
And we
I
learned
was-
from you as well.
I feel the same way. I was just going to say, I feel like I learned a lot from both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well,
Thank you.
I appreciate you all
Absolutely.
for tuning in, and from Teondra and Dean, we want to say thank you, guys, and we will catch you later. See
See
ya.
you later, guys.
Bye.